during my last broadcast of precisely 7 days ago on Sunday, I did say that it was Armageddon. After that very broadcast, that things will no longer be the same. And once again, we have been proven right, and things are not the same. All the workers of iniquity, all those who are blinded by what I call religious buffoonery, they have all been confounded. They are running from pillar to post. They are confused, and I knew they would be confused. Because they cannot see in the spirit, they are blind. Things of the spirit are lost on them. But this very day we shall continue. As I said during my earlier post, if you know that those of you who are, or should I say, weak constitution are listening, then I will seriously encourage you to disengage, because the program tonight, it may not be as hot as it was 7 days ago, but I can assure you it won't make for palatable listening for a great majority of you. But we must proceed all the same. I will say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, because the whole world is listening. The whole world is listening. Before I came here on air, I did get a confirmation from Facebook that they are seriously suppressing and interrupting, should I say, people visiting to my page. They are doing all they can to make our work impossible. But they will always fail as they have failed previously. We are live on satellite. Those of you with strong decoders should be able to listen to us, which is what most of you are using in Abuja anyway. If you are in Biafra land, you will listen to us. If you are fortunate enough, via FM, one of our CHKs that is broadcasting in the land of Biafra. The kanu, I have nearly about, say, 300,000 likes, so you shouldn't be able to miss it. There are a few other ones set up by DSS to try to lure people away, to try to confuse people, but have failed. The same way that every enemy we encounter crumbles, that is how they too have crumbled. We are also on Radio Biafra app, and very soon we are also going to be on IPOB app as well. Right now we are on Radio Biafra app. You can get us via tuning. You can also, all these names I'm mentioning, just Google them. Log in, just search for Radio Biafra. You'll be listening to my voice immediately. Some of us have decided to stream us live also on YouTube, which I understand is the means through which most of you are listening. And I will encourage you to also go to Garden Radio as well. In all these places, you will be able to hear us this evening live and direct. I say evening because of where I'm talking about this evening, the same time as you have in the land of Biafra. Mazi Nnamdi, I am the leader of IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra all over this planet. We are in over 100 countries and counting. We are the largest mass movement on the surface of this very earth, bar none. We are a juggernaut, unstoppable. There is nothing anybody can do, not now, not tomorrow, not ever. We are unstoppable. Our march is towards Biafra. To restore Biafra, nothing more, nothing less. And this very generation of IPOB will accomplish it. Do you want to know why we will accomplish it? Because we always put Chukwukikadiama first. God Almighty in heaven is number one. That is why we worship Him and Him alone. That is why we bow not down before any idol. And I never say, I don't worship idol. And because of that, Elohim said, as long as you proclaim my name in every truth, anything He says must come to pass. That is why we have stuck on stubbornly onto this path of redemption. In truth and in every honesty. That heaven and earth may bear us witness that they came and they proclaimed the salvation of God Almighty in heaven, Their cries and their prayers were listened to, and they were set free. When I say that this is the last miracle on the face of this very earth, I meant it. And with everything that's happening around us, you now understand the enormity of the task that awaits us. What we must do to be free. That is why we are gathered this evening, morning, afternoon, night, depending on where you are. Because for those in Japan, I think it's about 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. For those in Malaysia, Indonesia, I think maybe it's about 2 a.m. in the morning or thereabouts. For those of you in Los Angeles, it is 10 a.m. in the morning of Sunday. That's how it is, because the world keeps rotating all the time. When it is your morning in your time zone, it could be somebody's tea time, it could be somebody's breakfast, it could be somebody else's dinner, somewhere. That's how the world rolls. It waits for no one. When they say time waits for no one, is because regardless of what happens, the earth will keep rotating around the sun. It will never stop. Every blessed day, the earth is rotating at over 1,000 miles per hour. But you don't feel it. Because the grace and the miracle of creation is with us. Elohim is with us, and we must worship him. This very evening, as we have always done. But I am going to pray a slightly different prayer in the language of heaven. Igbo language is the language of heaven, the oldest language on the face of the earth by none. Everything I say, I have proof. I don't say something that I don't know. Everything I say, there is proof. And I'm also going to prove it to all of you tonight, should you dare or challenge me to do so. And I'm going to pray. I wouldn't call it a prayer. It is a prayer, of course, because we are requesting something from heaven. We are going to pray a prayer of the 10 Commandments. And do you know why we pray this prayer? Because even those that founded the USA, United States of America, if you put into the 10 Commandments, because that will be the very basic foundation upon which Biafra will rest. I repeat. The 10 Commandments of God that nobody disputes, not even Islam, everybody believes in it. That is the pillar upon which we are going to rest this new Biafra. That is my promise to God in heaven. And this evening I will affirm it. Biafra will be a godly nation. Secular, yes, because you can practice whatever you want to practice, but it must be anchored on God. We don't answer Matuku for nothing. We don't call ourselves too much for nothing. It is for a purpose, a divine purpose. That purpose is that Biafra will come in our time. And the pillar that will hold Biafra is the mercy of God Almighty in heaven. Unashamedly, I proclaim, because I know the whole world is listening. They want to know the type of Biafra we're going to build. And I'm telling them this very day that Biafra will be a godly nation, anchored on the core values and principles surrounding the 10 Commandments that was given to Moshe on Mount Sinai. Unashamedly so, I say. And please, if you bow down your head wherever you are, we are going to pray. Our enemies are not resting. We don't expect them to rest, but we must continue to preach this very gospel, the gospel of truth, of redemption, and of honesty, this very gospel of freedom. And you were not peace and you were not dying when they bully you nothing and when they can reach like nothing goes. And you were not very good, very good cheer. Of what name I know what to an opening of my man, when I don't have my very mamma or me going, ebe ụmụ gị nọ n'ụwa niile bụ ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra ka iwe gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka wee zọpụta anyị n'aka ajọ ihe ka i were aka nri nke ezi omegwe kwagide ụmụ IPOB ebe ọbụla ha nọ n'elu ụwa nna nke bere dị ngozi wee gọzie ọrụ aka ha wee gọzie ha onwe ha na ezinụlọ ha tụmadụ ndị nna niile ebe ụbọchị nketa ụbọchị nketa ndị nna onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe biko gbaa ha ume nye ha nkasi obi nyekwa ha ikikere nye ha mmụọ nke eziokwu nye ha ezi mmụọ nke nghọta ka ọ ga-abụ ha nwee eziokwu gị nna nke ebere ka ha wee nabata ya na anyị wee na-akpọ gị wee na-arịọghị nna nke igwe na-asị na anyị ekwupụta ka ụwa niile wee ya nụrụ na Biafra na-abịa dịka isi wee kwa anyị na nkwa anyị na-akpọkụ gị na-asị gị ị ga-enye anya n'ime afọ anyị nọ n'ime ya ị ga-enye anyị Biafra n'ime afọ a 2020 anyị nọ n'ime onye nwe na Chineke n'ihi na ijiri obodo kwesịbụzi ma ala ya n'iyi Biafra bụ onyinye nke gị nke ị nyere ụmụ mmadụ dị ndụ anyị ga-ewere ya nna nke igwe were ya fee ebe ofufe n'ụzọ pụrụ iche ihe anaghị eme anyị kwupụta kebe eziokwu gị ejekpedị ngọzi wee na-ekwu ya ma na-ekwusi ike si na anyị ụmụ anyị bụ ụmụ Biafra bụ ụmụ Chineke ka anyị bụ anyị anaghị efe arụsị ụmụ gị ka anyị bụ onye nwe m n'ihi na ọ bụghị onye ọbụla na-agba nsọrọ Biafra na-aza aha arụsị ọbụla anaghị ka anyị na-efe anyị na-aza Chinedu anyị na-aza Amarachukwu ụmụ gị na-aza Ikechukwu ụmụ gị na-aza Chukwu na-enye ụzọ niile dị iche iche ka anyị si wee na-ebuli aha nsọ gị elu site n'aha nke anyị na-aza ka anyị wee na-ekweghị nkwa nna nke ebere dị ngọzi n'ihu ụwa niile bụ ndị na-ege anyị ntị na anyị ga-ewere Biafra nna nke igwe wee guzo ya n'elu iwu iri nke nyere nna nke ebere dị ngọzi n'ihi na ọnwa mgbe ụmụ gị bụ ndị nze nọ na mkpagbu n'obodo Ijipt iwe dị ozi wee dị na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ Chineke nna nkụziri nke ndị agha na ha niile etu abụ ụmụ gị ha na-enweta ọgọ wee tinyere gị ha ga-abụ isi ala wee nye arụsị ọgọ ma ofufe ya ofufe n'ihi na dị onwe gị bụ Chineke nna dị ngọzi ịtọnwa onye ọbụla gị nye aga ama aka n'ihu ị na-eweta adamahụ n'isi ndị niile ruo ọgbọ ha nke atọ na nọrọ gị ịtanyekwara ha nsọ ya eme akaja n'ihi na dị onwe gị bụ onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna dị ngọzi na ị gaghị agbaghara ka ha na-abụ ndị ji ahụ ewe n'ala ya n'iyi ịga anyị cheta ụbọchị asaa n'ime izu ụka ma doo ya nsọ n'abalị isii ka mmadụ dị ndụ nwoke ji wee nwụrụ abalị asaa ụbọchị ezu ụka ụbọchị ọpụtara n'iri gị n'ụbọchị dị etu onwe nyọrọ n'ime anyị nke ga-ahụ ọbụla na anyị onwe anyị na ezinụlọ anyị ma ọ bụ ndị ọbịa bụ n'ime etiti anyị n'abalị isii ka ji onwe gị bụ onye nwaanyị ji wee mee eluigwe n'elu ụwa n'ime oke osimiri nke anyị ma abalị nke asaa iwe ezu ike ọ bụ ya mere iji wee gọzie ụbọchị asaa n'ime izu ụka ma doo ya nsọ ịga anyị kwanyere nna anyị na nna anyị ugwu ama anyị were ogologo ala nsọ ka anyị kwuru anyị na nkwa ịga anyị kwere mmadụ anyị akwado ka anyị ezinụlọ anyị agbara nwa ya wee kpado mmadụ ibe anyị ejekwara anyị ezinụlọ nwoke ọzọ ma ọ bụ nwee mmasị ebe nwunye ya na ebe akụ na ebe ya nọ na nke dị ngozi ka bibiri ezi chinye n'aka nna nke igwe nke ụmụ gị kọpụtara n'ụwa niile iji wee mee ka ndị dị ndụ wee kee na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ Chineke na onye anyị na-efe wee na-edu anyị n'ụzọ ije ka amara gị na ebere gị wee zuo oke n'ime ndụ anyị ka anyị onwe anyị bụ ndị dị ndụ wee bulie aha nsọ gị jụọ gị mama toro yi enebighị ma ruo n'ebighị ise mma mmadụ gị Chineke. We now proceed to unveil the truth this very day, that the world may know, because the zoo is crumbling. It has crumbled already. What happened in Ghana yesterday is just confirmation. Because this very year, the zoo will be decimated beyond human comprehension or recognition. Never again will the zoo exist. It's gone. We have not done anything. We have not commenced our march. We have not confronted the Janjaweed terrorists who are in our forests and our farms. We have not gone out to meet those who are killing us. Yet the zoo is unraveling before our eyes. As always, I will endeavor to wrap every of our discussion this evening around a very common theme, and that theme is that if out of, should I say, a habit of treachery or a lifetime of betrayal, you fail to recognize the importance of the time that we are living in, then may the good We are a highly religious, like a godly people, let me put it that way. Some have turned it into modern day religiosity. What I want to make you understand this very evening is this: that every problem afflicting us as a people, as a race, is our own making. Every difficulty that we Biafrans are undergoing right now is our own making. And we trace it back to one common, or should I say, a simple denominator. And that denominator is slavery, kidnapping in modern parlance, and slavery, which the whole world is now running around trying to atone for. Before we came on air, we understand that the Church of England, of all places, Anglican Church, was involved in slavery. I will tell you the truth. And quite frankly, I don't give a damn if you like it. If you don't like it, go and do your research. Also, the Bank of England said they are apologizing for their role in slavery. And I want to tell you why we are in this mess we are in today. Those of you who are very close to your scriptures, those of you that have the Bible or even the Quran with you, I want you to go to the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 16. Exodus 21, 16, that is the genesis of our problem as a race. This suffering we are suffering today, if you go back to the Holy Book, if you go back to the Bible, it is there. That was the beginning of our problem. Everything afflicting black people in America, every pain, every shame, every dishonor, you can trace it back to this in the book of Exodus 21, 16. And before we proceed any further, you will also understand that every time we say we are in the land of Egypt, that the zoo called Nigeria is the land of Egypt. And I encourage you, if they kick you out of my page, we are on YouTube to suppress us. And that's what they will do. But the world is listening. After this program, by the end of this program, nearly 2 million people would have listened to it live. 2 million will listen to it live. So that is why we are not bothered. That is why we are not concerned. That is why we will continue to do everything humanly possible to preach this very gospel of redemption. Exodus 21, verse 16. I want to let the whole world understand. I want to let the whole world know where our problems started from, that they may know the truth, and that truth will set them free. Once you commit this crime, once you commit this very crime, you must be punished. Your race will be punished. God will never ever forgive you until you are punished. I want to let the whole world understand that those of us who are the children of light, those of us that supply the bulk of slaves to South America, the Caribbean, and North America, the entire West Africa was more or less emptied. The most prized slaves are those that came from Biafra land. Go and check the books. You will see it and you will know. Do you know what the Bible tells us in Exodus 21:16? Very, very frightening about kidnapping your people and selling them. It says that he who kidnaps a man, whether he sells him as a slave, remember? Those who are bragging that they are slave traders, they are slave dealers. I want to let you understand the reason why Niger Delta is in darkness this evening. More than any other place. Nigeria is darkness itself. Then inside that darkness there is a place that some people ignorantly refer to as Niger Delta. I want you to know the reason why they are even suffering more than every other person in this view called Nigeria. It is in the Bible. As I told you before, Elohim gives us message, put him as a slave, or you keep that very person, a fellow human being, your brother or your sister, you will surely be put to death. If nobody can kill you, God in heaven will kill you. Because those are his words. He that stealeth a man, or selleth him, or is found in his hands, he will surely be put to death. We cannot put ourselves to death because we sold our own people, first to the Arabs and then to Europeans. That is why God is today dealing with us. When they kill somebody, you campaign and you say Black Lives Matter or Black Lives Matter. What you're saying is that I have sinned against God in heaven because we sold our own people as slaves. And why is Niger Delta suffering more than any other place? There is no, I put something last night. There is no tangible, meaningful development. It's because go and check in the coastal, I won't call it Niger Delta, that's not the name. The name is the coastal region of Biafra land. Go to the coastal region of Biafra land and see for yourselves. The people suffering most from the coastal region of Biafra land were the hotbeds of slave trade. Something that God in heaven is against. Not just there. I want you to also go to the book of Deuteronomy 24:7. To the book of Deuteronomy 24:7. If you go there, you will see what is happening. If you go there, you will understand what is happening. And the reason why you shouldn't be kidnapping people, because once you do that, once you kidnap somebody, you are bringing a curse not just upon yourself and your family, you are bringing a curse on your generation as well. That is why it is absolutely critical that in the next coming weeks and months, when we come to confront the enemies who are within, the Janjaweed that have come from all over the Sahel to take over our land, that we understand it. It is a kanu. That is why the world is treating them like the animals that some of them are. That is why the world is treating them like the animals that some of them are. If you go back to the book of Genesis, I am sorry to dwell on this, but it is very, very critical you understand it. If you go back to the book of Genesis, why did the Israelites suffer in Egypt? Was because the house of Jacob, they sold their brother Joseph. The same thing that God himself was against was what they did. They did in the land of Biafra. The same thing that we did, selling our own people, our own kind, first to Arabs and then to Europeans. And you expect God to love you. It is impossible. You must pay for it. And that punishment is what we are in right now. That was why Elohim in his infinite mercy and kindness decided to, isn't it very funny that the same people that we sold our people to, they come back, they conquered us. And they gave us their religion. Punishment goes. The same thing that happened to the temple in Israel. When they started to worship idols, God went and brought all those nations that they were worshiping their idols to come and conquer Israel one after the other. And sacked them. And on the pain of death, threatened never ever to worship God in truth and honesty anymore. Until they spent over 2,000 years in exile. Millions dead before they cried, and God heard their cry and decided to deliver them in 1948. This Israel you're looking at only came into existence again in 1948, since the time of Christ. Only 1948. Less than 100 years ago. The Israel I've been hearing about never existed for over 2,000 years. It only came into existence only in 1948, less than 100 years ago. And that is the understanding I want all of you to have as we delve into the main substance of our gospel this very evening. Have you asked that question? Why is it that some of you never pause to even wonder the absurdity that people that drive cattle from place to place, they are not very fluid in their own language. They cannot communicate very well in the lingua franca, which is the English language, but they are in control of your lives. I never wondered why. Do you know why the British gave power over to the Janjaweed, to the Caliphate? All are in the design of God in heaven to punish you for the things that you have done. But now that we have atoned consistently for nearly 7 years, you are about to witness the might and the glory of God this very year upon the lives of his children. That when Biafra comes, you will know to worship God forever and ever. This year. You just watch and see. Because in the Zoom, their cut-off mark is out. I want to start with it. Their cut-off mark is out. And can you believe that in Abia, you need to score 130 if you're a male, 130 if you're a female, to qualify to go to a unity school, which is a federal government secondary school. Now, in Abia, this is one Nigeria for you. What is paining me is not that the Janjaweeds are doing this and the Yorubas are supporting them. What is actually getting me angry is that our people, after seeing this level of entrenched injustice, year in, year out, month in, month out, somebody will still have the temerity to stand up and say, we want a restructured Nigeria, we want to be in Nigeria. I want you to understand the level of, oh my goodness, idiocy in the brains of these people that open their mouths to talk about one Nigeria. Now we are all going to answer the question this evening. Can you tell me the reason why Abia State, the reason why Enugu State is 134? Why Imo State is 138? Why is it that Osun State is 127? Ondo State is 126? Ogun is 131? We are in Taraba. You wrote the same exam and you came out, and the examiners are telling you that if you come from Yobe State, if you come from Zampa, if you come from Taraba, if you come from Sokoto, the only thing you need to score is 9 to be considered as somebody who have now passed that very exams. And for their females, it's slightly higher. Because in Sokoto, apparently, the women go to school more than the men. Only 13. If you score 13, you qualify. After going to unity school, having scored only 2 marks. 2 marks means in your state, once you go into the examination hall, you write your name. Obashe Audu. You come out, you have passed. Whereas in other places, in Ogun State, in Kwara State, for instance, in Enugu, in Ebonyi, in Delta, you must go over 110 to be considered. So somebody walks into an examination hall and writes his or her name from Yobe. They come out and they are now qualified to go to unity school. And you are in one Nigeria. Now my concern is this. Are you telling me that your pastors are not saying this? Are you telling me that those that claim they are part of this Let's Take Nigeria One, are they not seeing this injustice? Those that came out to protest for Black Lives Matter, don't they see this? Those that claim they have NGOs and fighting for equality, don't they see this? I'm asking, don't the British High Commissioner see this? Don't the US Ambassador understand what is going on? Are you telling me that the German ambassador is unaware of what is happening? Are you telling me that all the nations of every civilized nation to the zoo called Nigeria, are you telling me that they're not aware of this very broad daylight, blatant discrimination? Now I'm asking you, those that want us to be part of one Nigeria, on what basis, therefore, are you asking me to be part of one Nigeria? On what basis? This is why a lot of our men spend their time gossiping. They don't attack the issues that matter. I want to ask every senator, every House of Reps member, in which country of this world do you have not just the triple standard? One standard for Kanu, for Kaduna, for Jigawa, and a different one for those in Imo, Abia, Cross River, Ogun, Oshun. I said, I ask you therefore, based on what is happening, these are our children, those going to secondary schools. These are little children, the ages of 10 and 11. So, from that very age, you are telling them that they do not matter, that they have to aspire, not to be excellent, but to be mediocre. Because it is very sensitive if somebody who scores only 2 marks from you to score over 130 or 134 as the case may be for Enugu and Imo. Just explain that to me. But you have senators. You have lawmakers. You have those championing one Nigeria, saying Nigeria used to be great, to be great. How can it be great? How can you subscribe to be in a society where somebody from somewhere, because they are janjaweed, they don't go to school, they sniff glue from morning till night, they move cattle from place to place, they only score to, all they need to remember when they go to the exam hall is their name, and they have passed. Is that very fair? Is that how to run any country? And why are those who should be speaking out not speaking out? There are a rented mob of, should I say, unemployed and should I say, slightly educated fools in Abuja. You know what I always write petition. If you see their shirt, they always have a blue pen, red pen, and black pen. They know that plastic big. They line it off. That's their petition writers. That's what they do. Hawking, should I say, their Iraq services to anybody who is willing to pay them stop money. Do you see what they have done to you? Your own children have to score higher than them, but they want to be president. So you're telling me that somebody who is half educated, who can barely mention his name, is worthy to be president after president after president of a damnable contraption, whereas those who are educated from the south just sit on the sidelines and just watch. And you're telling me that everything is right about this Nigeria. I want to ask the British, each and one of them, to remind them, at least to inform them, that they are in a place where if this year to happen in the USA, the riots will not end. Were this to happen in the UK, the riots will never end. Were this to happen anywhere in Europe, you will have all commentators, all columnists writing and talking about it from morning till night. Why are you not doing something in this called Nigeria? Why not, I ask you? These are the things you need to ponder. These are the things that you need to consider because it's very, very upsetting. Very, very upsetting. And that is why the zoo must fall. That is why this zoo must fall. People prefer to live on lies and deception. You know what is happening every blessed day. There is something I'm going to play for each and every one of you to listen to tonight. What is happening inside the zoo? You know these things very well. Your bishops, they know. Your pastors, they know. Your reverend fathers, they know. Everybody is aware. Your politicians, they know. Your so-called elders, they know. But they have all kept quiet. Why is it difficult for an average Nigerian to confront evil and say that something is bad? All they care about is tithe and offering, every blessed week, tithe and offering. Impunity is happening. They never come to the congregation and they say to them, oh, my children, how come you scored over 100? You cannot go to unity school. There's somebody who only scored 2 in Yobe is going to unity school. Free education. I ask these pastors, do you at all look at your congregation and ask them these questions? Are you telling me that as a so-called elder, a senator, a house of reps, house of assembly, the government chairman, a council, are you not aware of this entrenched injustice? And I'm asking every Nigerian, tell me where else in the world such travesty will be allowed to stand. Show me where. You can't tell me. But you want me to be part of one Nigeria. This is why it will never work. Because all of you are hypocrites. You are all hypocrites. Now listen. The injustice did not stop there. Blessed day, causing out of our past and things all over the place. There was no outrage. There was no shock. Because a Biafran woman was killed. Her right leg cut off. Her left leg cut off. Her torso cut off. Her head cut off. Her neck severed. Her hands cut off. I don't see anybody complaining in America. I don't see anybody complaining in Britain. I don't see any diplomatic frenzy. That woman belongs to somebody. And a father and a mother, maybe children, who knows? Nobody cares, nobody wants to know. And after seeing all of that, somebody is telling me about one Nigeria. That is where I begin to, that is why I get upset, most of them. That is why I insult them. That means you're very cold, you're callous, you are evil. You want me to belong to a country where somebody can wake up one morning and decide to kill me for no reason. And that person will just go scot-free. In most instances, he or she will get paid for doing it. Because they are following. And that is the country you want me to belong to. To show you how evil the Jew is. Listen, please. Hey. Listen. Can you hear me? Yeah, listen. I can hear you. Okay, so the call by the governor. The government stopped the influx of herdsmen from outside the country. Now remember this. A governor is calling for a stop to the influx of herdsmen, and I've said this thing repeatedly. Can anybody then tell me why the southern borders are closed? You have politicians in the south, so that is to tell you that every politician you have in the southern part of the zoo called Nigeria is in the pockets of the Fulanis in the north. And that is punishment from God. Because as we were selling slaves, so we are the Yoruba. Also, the enemies actually Duduwa will come to that later. Not Yoruba. Duduwa was also selling their own slaves. Those that were selling theirs too. In Badagry. Big time. Selling slaves big time. That is why you see how God punishes people who go against him. Slavery is evil. Before other people around the world, we sold our people. A white man is not just looking for money and come and start grabbing us. No. We were the ones, and this is the result of it. The same thing is continuing today. The same problem is continuing today. Those of them in the northern part of the zoo, the Fulani Caliphate, they opened their borders from Sokoto to Maiduguri. Anybody can come into Nigeria. Go to Benue, go to Akatu, take land, rape their women and kill them. Our army is there, where will protect you. Everyone will protect you. Is it that one Nigeria you want me to belong to? But in the south, the borders are closed. And you're telling me that the so-called southern elders that they are normal, you want me to respect them? They are there, and this level of impunity is going on. And they get quiet. And you want because of one Nigeria. Do you see how foolish you are? Those of you idiots from the south, claiming that you want to be part of one Nigeria. When will you develop brain and be able to reason? Why did they close your borders in the south? Let's open the ones in the north. Why? You don't ask questions. You don't, in your life, ask any questions. Nothing whatsoever. Because your brains are empty. All you care about is allocation. Or we have to steal money, or which politicians to carry back for. After 4 years, who knows, you might start from the TC, transition chairman of the government, and from there you can make your own money as well. You move your families abroad. You buy a fancy mansion in the USA, and you'll be traveling and coming back. And that's it. That's your one Nigeria. That is your lot in life. Because you're a southern politician. You have been programmed to destroy your own people. Our own politicians, by the likes of Abaniba, all they are designed to destroy your own race. That's all you do. Destroy your own people. Hear them from the north. Hear them very well. Hear them. Position has happened before as to what to do with that movement within the country. So it's one thing to stop influx from another country. Should this be extended to movements within the country? And if that happens, what happens
to when they said, look, we've got right to move around?
One black man was killed and the whole place is going up in flames. Do you know that a Biafran, an Igbo woman, was killed, her body parts cut into pieces and scattered in a farm? Not one single protest. All those writing their long, useless grammar, I was looking for them. Not one single protest. I said, not one. That is to show you how subdued we have become as a people. Now, you're telling me in a country where you claim that foreigners are coming to kill you in your own land, and it is being discussed as if they've just come to a party somewhere. Just so flippantly. Oh, if you cross the borders in the north, how about those moving that say they have a... People are discussing the death of fellow human beings as if it is just nothing. As if they've just squashed a tiny mosquito somewhere in their room. Can you believe that? These are the things that when I think about it and a black man, I begin to go crazy. I don't understand these people. You'll be shocked. Listen.
Yeah, the call, like I said, the call by the governor to stop the influx of the herdsmen across into Nigeria is a very excellent call, but it should go further than that. And I don't know whether that call, whether the government is together, whether the state governors are in tune with the presidency, or each one of them is doing what he's doing in his own state. But one thing I know is that I have already said this here, that there are hundreds of thousands of these killer herdsmen, which the governor has confirmed that when they come in, they are heavily armed. And
in a country, this is a proof that you have no president, you have no vice, you have nobody in power. I don't know how else to explain it to black people so they will understand it. That was why the Zoo High Commission, their embassy in Ghana, was demolished. The Ghanaians know you have no president. How can you demolish, you know what the meaning of an embassy? Sorry to digress a little bit from what, should I say, political and military cover for these killers to come in to take over our land, to make the geopolitical space in Nigeria that you have right now the home of Fulanis across the Sahel. That is their game plan. You know it and I know it. Now the question is, what are you doing about it? We know what we are doing. All of you talking about one Nigeria. I want to ask you, is it in the education system? Is it in which aspect of life is salvageable in Nigeria? I said, which aspect is salvageable? Which aspect is salvageable? There's none. The killers are coming into your country, and this man that is being interviewed by channels is saying presidency. Where is that hard man in Buhari? Oh, it's insurgency. Insurgency will come. So he's a hard man, he's a general. Where is he? Have you seen how cleverly channels no longer talks about Buhari? Oh, where is the president? Without presidency. Now, after all these pointers, what again is stopping you people from understanding that you have no president? Do you know the meaning of an embassy? An embassy is a foreign land. Let me put it this way. Let me not use an abstract explanation. Anytime you go to the U.S. embassy, or their in Abuja, or their consulate in Lagos, once you walk into that premises, you are on U.S. soil. Nigerian government cannot come there to look for you. Remember Chile, when Assange ran into Chilean embassy? In London, the Metropolitan Police go there to arrest him? No. Did the army go there? No. Because that piece of territory is Chile. You can't go in there. International diplomatic protocol. Now, once you invade an embassy, it is tantamount to the violation of that country's sovereignty. That's how important it is. For the embassy not to be invaded, it was demolished. The Zoo High Commission in Accra was demolished. You have not heard anything from the president of a country whose land was invaded on tithes and offering. Do you see the reason why? Tell me why a country, if you doubt me, go and invade your embassy in Abuja. Trump, as you're invading, the president of America will be talking immediately. Go and try it anywhere in the world. But you're telling me that the embassy, let me call it an embassy, the embassy of Nigeria was demolished in Accra. The president did not say anything because there is no president. Absolutely none. None whatsoever. Headsmen are coming in, they're killing. Do you now understand my anger against these people? This is what I'm talking about, the brain of a black man, inability to discern, to reason, to think. People don't even know about what an embassy is. They don't know the sanctity of an embassy. They don't understand it. You think it's just where you go and get a visa and you travel. Or where you go and get your passport renewed. Do you know of an embassy? That piece of embassy in who are these people for goodness sake? Who are they? What sort of human beings are they? They never listen, they don't think, they don't reason. These are the people in the zoo we are talking about. And that is why we must leave the zoo as imminently as possible. Because some of our people, they don't reason anymore. They reason like the janjaweed. Why they are calling, I have no idea. Why they are calling, I have no idea. But they will call anyway. They will call. That is who they are. That is the way they reason. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by that scholar who is not paying attention. They're not listening. Because if it's listening, why would they be calling when the lines are not open yet? Why would they be calling? Do you see the reason why blacks are in a mess? Do you now understand it? Why we are in a mess? Do you see the reason why the Fulanis can do whatever they can and get away? Because every ambassador in the zoo has been bribed. UK, US, Germany, all they are there for is how much they can loot as your politicians are looting, so are they looting as well. Since you want to destroy yourselves, who help you to destroy yourselves? That's what they're doing. Do you now understand it? Do you understand it now? The mess that people are in. Society, so to speak, is fairness, equity and fairness. What is the fairness in having different cut of marks? Not just maybe 10 or 15 or 20. I have to get 134 from Imo State to go to school. There's somebody that is a Janjaweed from the north will need to score 2. And when you have them as president, as finance minister, as the head of strategy and planning in the Ministry of Finance, as the head of budget, you want your country to move forward, to be like Singapore, to be maybe like India, to be growing. Are you not insane? Because from their education, you shall know them. I have said it before, and I'm going to say it, that the reason why we are so messed up the way we are is because we are in darkness. Some of you born into darkness. I was born a Biafran. Some of you are born into darkness, so you don't know any better. And we are the light of the world. I say it because every Abrahamic faith that you have, the 3 great religions of the world, which is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Everybody alludes to the fact that God is light. I said everybody. From the Old Testament to the New to the Quran, everybody acknowledges that God is light. And you come from a place called darkness, and you want your lives to be better. How can it be better? In the book of Isaiah 60, 19 to 20 says this there very clearly. That Elohim will be your everlasting light, and your days of sorrow will come to an end. We know what we are doing. Sometimes, if you don't understand it, just say you don't understand. In the book of Psalms, Psalm 97:11, that the light shines on the righteous, and joy on the upright in heart. Everything is about light. Everything is about light. It is everywhere. All the way to the book of John 1:15, Ecclesiastes 11:7, everywhere is replete with what light represents. That light shines in darkness, and darkness can never overcome it. We are the light. We Biafrans, we are the light. And where we anchor our agitation on the promise of God. When I say we are anchoring our agitation on the promise of God, people don't understand it. They think we are being too religious now. I studied both the Old Testament that underpins Judaism, New Testament that underpins Christianity. I even went to Quran. Do you know I'm studying Quran? And I found the same thing. And I wish I can tell it to you. The place we found in the Quran is Surah An-Nur, 24th of Surah S-U-R-A-H, A-N, Nur. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Do you know what it says there? That Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. That God is light. This is what we call so much again. Even in Islam, they know who we are. That we are the children of light. Do you understand it? Because this Surah An-Nur 24 to 35 says, I'm now quoting Quran for you so you understand it. Because we are scholars, we read. I'm quoting Quran for you so you know. God is the light of the heavens and the earth. The example, wherein is a lamp. The lamp is in a crystal, and the crystal shining as if it's like a pearl, like a radiant star, lit from the oil of a blessed olive tree that is neither of the east nor of the west. That little name you answer H, people don't think of it. Light in here that we answer in our villages, you have no idea. I'm telling you that every major religion in the world recognizes who you are. But it's only you that don't know who you are. That is why you're subjecting yourself to a contraption built by a man, built by the hands of a man. Look at children of God submitting, instead of you to submit yourself to the creation of the Almighty, you're submitting yourself to the creation of a mortal. Very shameful and very disgraceful. But we are here to correct you. And as a result of that, you will remain in mourning. That is why we have been suffering from day one. They keep shrinking us. They have now shrunk us so much that if you ask a typical idiot in Abuja, where is the Southeast undergoing? That was why Elohim Chukwuka made us blind. We have forgotten there are Igbo people in Kogi. We forgot there are Igbo people in Benue. We forgot there are Igbo people in Cross River. We forgot there are Igbo people in Akwa Ibom. We forgot there are Igbo people in Bayelsa. Yes. We forgot they took Igbo people away from us in Rivers. Took them away from us in Delta. Took them away from us in Edo. Now, are you feeling what I'm saying? Because we have become blind. We no longer see the face of God Almighty in heaven. As our name says, I say what I say because of what our name says is who we are. That is our name. That is our own name that God gave to us because we represent the light. The name is everywhere. All the way from Anambra, which is the capital of Igbo land, all the way, everybody has been here. Everybody answers light in here, light everywhere. And then you come and you cocoon yourself in darkness that it is you. And want God to bless you. God cannot bless you in Nigeria. It's not possible. It is impossible. If you like, remain in Nigeria for 1 trillion years, God will never ever bless a Biafran. Individually, you may be rich. Maybe like maybe Ibet or Innocent or whatever. You may be boycotting to change your way and they give you something and allow your business to thrive. But the road that leads to your village will be a death trap. You will encounter armed robbery. You will encounter civil strife. You will encounter pain. You will see suffering. All this will never be complete. If you don't know. Now listen to what is happening to us. There is no lockdown in the north. No lockdown in the north. In Biafra land, they say we should lock down. We should go indoors and stay indoors and lock down. Yes? And now let me tell you what is happening as a result of that. Let me tell you what's happening as a result of that. Listen carefully. Okay, listen. She's speaking Igbo language and of course Ngwa dialect.